your stomach hurts and you live on well water. All right, so let's talk about what it can be. I'm a detective, right? My goal is to help you uncover some of the things that could cause sour stomach. So when we turn on our water on a daily basis, we got to think to ourselves, we live on a private well, and did you know it's your job to test your well water every year? Yes, we want to understand what's in the water, right? So I can't tell you how many times. In fact, let's just do the typical percentage. The CDC, the EPA, the Department of Health, they all say about 15 to 20% of all wells have coliform in the water. That's where this baby gets contaminated by septic or by coliform that could actually get into your well. So it's very important that you test the water. In fact, the Department of Health sometimes says to test for coliform and E. coli 4 times a year. Yes, spring, summer, winter, and fall. Why? Because the aquifers change drastically. If you live by a river, please test your water 4 times a year. If you live by a swamp and you have a shallow well, please test your water. If you live by a lake, test your water. Why? Because the animal waste can get into the water table, and then that can eventually get into your aquifer. You got to remember, sometimes aquifers, even though they drilled the well 200 feet, the reality is if you're on a hill, or sometimes that water table is up to 20 feet below the earth. I've literally taken well caps off and the water is like 5 feet underground. So it's important that you test your water regularly. So here are some of the other things to be aware of. Majority of the people in Chicagoland, actually through the Midwest, have what's called iron bacteria. So if you just moved into the home and you're like, oh, I got sour stomach or I got diarrhea, guess what? You have bloating. That could be from iron bacteria. It's not a fatal or not a very harmful bacteria, but it's called a nuisance bacteria. Nuisance because it's hard to take that iron and the bacteria and that rotten egg smell it creates off the water droplet. So it's a nuisance, but your body gets used to it over time. But over and over again, I've met people who are very sensitive to water and their stomach hurts after drinking well water. So do yourself a favor and start with water testing. If after the water testing you have any further questions, write me a note, do whatever you need to do, make a phone call to me, 847-382-7800. As you know, my name is Drew and I'm here to serve you.